What if I told you that real power doesn't roar, demand, or control? It listens. In a world full of noise, the calm woman is the quiet storm. She doesn't fight chaos. She rises above it. Her strength doesn't come through argument or force, but through a steady stillness that unsettles those who haven't yet faced their own silence. Because calmness in its truest form isn't weakness. It's mastery. But this kind of mastery isn't easy to earn. It's not the calm that hides feelings or fears expression. It's the calm that comes after walking through your own darkness, after facing every storm that once ruled your mind. The calm woman hasn't escaped her pain. She's moved through it. Every steady breath she takes is a reminder of all the battles she's already survived. To most people, her calm might seem passive. Some mistake her peace for distance, her silence for submission. But those who live in noise often misread quiet strength. They can't understand a woman who doesn't need to shout to be heard, who doesn't chase to be chosen, who doesn't fall apart when she's unseen, because she no longer feeds off reaction. She's withdrawn her energy from the endless game of approval and rejection that runs most people's lives. The calm woman is awake. She no longer moves according to outside triggers because she understands where those triggers come from. The unhealed child, the wounded ego, the parts of us that crave control. From a distance, you might think she's untouched by pain. But her peace wasn't given to her. She built it. It's the result of deep inner work, of nights spent sitting with fear and choosing not to run. She's learned to listen to the parts of herself that once scared her. The envy, the anger, the grief. And by listening, she made peace with them. What you resist stays. What you accept transforms. The calm woman doesn't deny her darker emotions. She allows them to speak until they no longer own her. When conflict comes, she doesn't rush to defend herself. She knows anger often hides pain, and that judgment is usually a mirror of what someone refuses to face in themselves. So she listens, not to agree, but to understand. To the reactive mind, this looks like weakness. In truth, it's power. The kind of power that stays centered while others lose themselves. Like the Stoics taught, she can't control what happens, only how she responds. Her response is clarity, yet her calmness isn't cold. There's warmth in her stillness, a quiet compassion that sees beyond behavior into the pain underneath it. She knows that everyone is, in their own way, struggling with themselves. The man who raises his voice isn't attacking her. He's protecting his insecurity. The friend who pulls away isn't rejecting her. They're drowning in their own shame. This understanding frees her, not from pain, but from taking it personally. When a calm woman walks into a room, the energy changes. Not because she demands attention, but because she carries presence. Presence is magnetic. People feel it before they understand it. Her calm invites others to lower their guard. Her silence becomes a mirror that reflects their own noise. Some will be drawn to her peace. Others will resent it because her stillness reveals their chaos. But she doesn't take either reaction personally. She sees both as reflections. Her power isn't to change people. It's to stay true to herself. To stay grounded when others drift. To act without haste. To speak without proving. To love without fear. She's risen above the opposites that control most minds. Success and failure, love and rejection, belonging and isolation. Her worth comes from within, not from what others give or take. You might ask, how does someone become like this? How do you move from reaction to reflection, from emotional chaos to inner strength? It begins with awareness. The courage to look at yourself honestly, without judgment, to notice where your peace depends on others, to see the fears that drive your reactions. The calm woman wasn't born this way. She became this way. Through discipline, through choosing reflection over reaction, silence over noise, essence over appearance. Every time she refuses to be dragged into unnecessary conflict, she isn't avoiding life. She's reclaiming her power. She's learned that real control isn't over others. It's over herself. And in mastering herself, she becomes someone the world can't easily move. Someone who lives from truth, not from pressure. That's why her calm feels like power. Because it is. Picture this. A woman stands in the middle of a storm. Around her, people argue, voices rise, emotions collide. The air feels heavy with tension. Yet she stands still, grounded, breathing. It's not that she doesn't feel the chaos. She feels everything. The fear, the anger, the uncertainty. But instead of reacting, she observes. She sees beneath behavior into the pain that drives it. She's learned that most conflict isn't between two people, but between two unhealed minds trying to protect themselves. Her calm isn't a mask. It's what happens when emotions no longer control her. She's faced her own darkness, the jealousy, the pride, the need to be right, and she no longer fears it. Only those who deny their darkness are ruled by it. The calm woman doesn't suppress her emotions. She rises above them through understanding. In a world that glorifies reaction, her stillness is rebellion. Society often tells women to explain themselves, to justify their strength, to apologize for their peace. But she no longer explains her calmness, because she knows peace can't be understood by those who live in chaos. The restless will find her unsettling. They'll say she's cold, distant, hard to read. But what they really mean is that she can't be controlled, because control depends on reaction. If she reacts, she can be manipulated. If she argues, she can be provoked. If she defends, she exposes her weakness. But when she stays calm, not pretending, but truly grounded, she becomes untouchable. The chaos loses its hold. This is emotional alchemy, turning reactivity into wisdom. The Stoics understood this well. They said you have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The calm woman has realized this. She no longer waits for peace. She brings peace. She doesn't chase control over life. She creates calm within herself. That's why she can't be broken. And calm doesn't mean she stays silent. When she speaks, her words cut through the noise, not from emotion, but from clarity. When someone tries to provoke her, she pauses, not out of weakness, but curiosity. She asks, what in me is being triggered right now? And in that question, she transforms reaction into awareness. It's not that she doesn't feel anger. She does. But anger no longer drives her. She's made peace with it. She knows where it comes from. Pain, crossed boundaries, unmet needs. When it rises, she listens. And that awareness dissolves the pattern before it takes over. Emotional maturity isn't about having no emotions. It's about mastering how we express them. Calmness is integration, the meeting of opposites within us, light and dark, strength and softness, action and stillness. In her calm, she holds this balance. Her mind is steady, her heart open. Her choices come from alignment, not impulse. When others lose themselves in storms, she becomes the mirror, reflecting truth. Some find peace in her presence. Others feel discomfort because her calm exposes their chaos. That's the paradox of true calm. It draws them closer and pushes others away, but she remains the same, whole, grounded, free. But she doesn't take responsibility for other people's stories. She knows what belongs to her and what doesn't. When you meet a woman like this, you feel something unusual, like time slows down around her, your thoughts quiet. You feel seen, not for your mask, but for who you truly are. That's the rare power of presence. Something you can't fake. It's the language of the soul, felt not through words, but through energy. But this kind of calm doesn't come cheap. To find peace, she had to lose everything that wasn't real. The illusion of control, the need to be liked, the hunger for validation. She had to sit in her own darkness until she stopped fearing it. She had to face every part of herself that screamed for attention and learn to comfort it instead of hide it. This is the process of becoming whole, painful, but freeing. When you see her calmness now, know that it wasn't handed to her. She earned it. Through surrender, awareness, and countless moments of breaking and rebuilding, she touched the center of her being, the still point that chaos can't touch. From that center, she no longer reacts to life, she participates in it. There was a time when she wasn't calm, when emotions ran her life, when the smallest change in someone's tone could shake her worth. Back then, she confused intensity with connection, attention with love, silence with rejection. Her world was a tide of emotion, pulling her in directions she didn't understand. Like many of us, she lived out old patterns from her past, wounds she didn't cause but carried anyway. Her sense of self was ruled by unseen forces, old fears, deep conditioning, inherited beliefs. Every outburst, every fear of being left, every attempt to prove her worth wasn't random. It was her mind and heart trying to heal what had been split long ago. The calm woman was once the anxious one, the overthinker, the pleaser, the one who wanted so badly to be understood that she lost herself trying to be chosen. Her change began the day she stopped running from her own pain. For years, she looked for peace in other people, in love, in approval, in success. But peace that depends on something outside you always disappears. Then one day, maybe through heartbreak or loneliness, she understood the truth. No one can give you the safety you haven't given yourself. So she turned inward. That moment was her beginning. It started quietly. A pause before reacting, a breath before speaking. At first, her silence felt strange, even painful. Her mind whispered, "Say something. Defend yourself." But she didn't. She began to notice how often her reactions weren't choices, but old wounds repeating themselves. The way she tried to rescue others to feel needed. The way she avoided conflict to feel safe. The way she pretended to be calm instead of actually being calm. She began to see that her own patterns kept her trapped in the chaos she claimed to avoid. True inner work is the courage to see what we don't want to see. And she had that courage. She wrote, she reflected. She sat with discomfort that rose like waves in her chest. Sometimes she cried without knowing why. Sometimes she laughed at her own illusions. But each time she faced herself honestly, she became more whole. She realized that emotions like anger, grief, and jealousy weren't enemies. They were messengers. Each one carried wisdom about her needs, her values, her limits. When she stopped judging them and started listening, they softened. What once controlled her now served her. This is transformation. The burning away of everything false until only truth remains. Her calm is built on the ashes of all the selves she no longer needs. She shed the mask she used to wear for the world. She no longer smiles when she means no, agrees when she feels hurt, or fills silence just to feel safe. Her calm isn't performance. It's honesty. She's learned that being calm doesn't mean being emotionless. It means feeling deeply, but staying anchored in awareness. The waves still come, but she doesn't drown anymore. She's built an inner shore. In that space, she can hold both joy and pain, love and loss, without losing herself. That's emotional transformation, turning suffering into wisdom. She began to practice acceptance, not wishing for life to be easier, but learning to trust it as it is. She saw how much of her fear and regret came from resisting what already is. In calmness, she discovered surrender, not the weak kind, but the kind that trusts life's rhythm. She no longer tries to control every outcome. She focuses on her presence within it. When others betray her, she doesn't shut down. When plans fail, she doesn't fall apart. She's learned that what leaves was never meant to stay, and what stays doesn't need to be forced. Her faith isn't in what happens. It's in her ability to meet it. In her quiet moments, she connects to something greater, a deep, steady part of herself beyond fear and control. There she finds the calm that no storm can touch. Some call it reason. Some call it spirit. It's the same truth, the center that holds when everything else falls apart. When she walks back into the world, people can feel her energy before she says a word. The way she listens makes others slow down. The way she moves carries weight without effort. Some are drawn to her, others are unsettled, but she doesn't shrink to make anyone comfortable. She no longer waters down her calmness to fit the world's chaos, because she knows this calmness is powerful. It steadies others. It shows what peace can look like. It teaches without teaching. But she's still learning too. Calmness isn't a final state, it's a daily practice. Some days she forgets, some days she falls. But she always returns. Each return makes her stronger. She knows now that calmness isn't the destination, it's the path. There comes a point in every inner journey where you must choose: stay loyal to the chaos that once defined you, or surrender to the quiet that asks you to let go of everything that no longer fits. For her, that was the turning point. The crossing from the old self ruled by reaction to the new self guided by awareness. It didn't happen in some big dramatic moment. It unfolded quietly, in small choices. Not replying in anger, walking away from draining conversations, choosing solitude over approval, presence over distraction. Each choice built on the last until one day she realized she no longer searched for peace. She was peace. The woman she used to be feared silence, filling it with noise to avoid herself. Now silence feels sacred. In silence, she meets her soul. She's looked inward long enough to know that everything she once sought, love, safety, meaning, was never lost. It was only hidden under fear. From this awareness, her calm becomes radiant. It's not the fragile calm of avoidance, but the grounded calm of truth. She doesn't suppress her emotions anymore. She channels them. When sadness comes, she lets it soften her. When anger comes, it shows her where to draw lines. When love flows, she lets it flow freely. Her emotions are no longer her masters. They're her guides. And in this space of balance, something beautiful happens. Duality fades. She no longer sees life as win or lose, good or bad. Everything just is. Life becomes a dance of opposites, each needed for the other to exist. Real calm lives in that paradox, the still lake that reflects both day and night without judgment. She sees beauty in both. She knows peace isn't the absence of challenge, it's the presence of depth. She's stopped demanding the world be different. She started aligning with what's true. When she speaks now, her words come slowly, carefully. She doesn't waste energy trying to convince anyone. Truth doesn't need defense. It just is. Her calm presence doesn't argue. It inspires. Those who are ready understand. Those who aren't will when they're ready. Her presence plants seeds, not debates. The Stoics taught that real freedom comes from mastering the way we see things. It's not events that disturb us, but the meaning we give to them. The calm woman has tested this truth. She has seen how pain used to grow through her own interpretation, through the stories she told herself about betrayal, rejection, and loss. Now she sees things as they are, neutral, temporary, not personal. The meaning she gives them is her choice, and she chooses peace. But calmness doesn't make her distant from the world. It connects her more deeply to it. Because she no longer fears her own emotions. She can sit quietly with others in theirs. Her calm presence gives people permission to exhale, to be seen without judgment. She becomes a vessel for empathy, not pity, but real compassion. The kind that sees another suffering without trying to fix it, because she understands that pain is part of growth. This kind of calm is powerful. It changes relationships, workplaces, and families. Those around her begin to mirror her energy without even realizing it. Arguments soften. Tension fades. Children feel safer. Lovers feel seen. She teaches not by speaking, but by living. It's truth in action, not just in words. Of course, some people will still misunderstand her calm. They'll mistake her silence for arrogance, her peace for indifference. These are the ones still uncomfortable with stillness. The calm woman doesn't try to defend herself anymore. She's learned that being misunderstood is part of living truthfully. To be authentic means some people won't see you clearly. And that's okay. Sometimes her peace feels lonely. The higher the awareness, the fewer people you meet along the way. But she no longer sees solitude as exile. It has become her sanctuary, the space where she meets her own wholeness. There, she speaks not to others, but to something greater inside her. When she looks at the world now, she sees it with new eyes. She no longer feels the urge to fix or judge. She knows that every person is a soul in progress, each wrestling with their own lessons. The angry are learning boundaries. The fearful are learning trust. The controlling are learning to let go. And she too, in her calm, is still learning the never-ending humility of being human. True calm is not a final destination. It's a living relationship with life itself. It breathes, changes, expands, and contracts. It's both a discipline and a grace. The calm woman nurtures it daily through reflection, gratitude, silence, and presence. And when life tests her again, as it always does, she doesn't dread it. She knows every storm is a teacher. Every loss, every ending is a doorway. She no longer fears losing peace because she's realized that peace isn't something you can lose. It's what remains when you stop resisting what is. There comes a time when calmness no longer feels like effort, but like remembering something ancient. She begins to see that what she once called strength was really tension. And what she once thought was weakness was softness misunderstood. True calm is softness. The kind that bends but doesn't break. That absorbs impact and returns to stillness. It's the kind of yielding that holds infinite strength. This is the paradox of real power. The calm woman isn't strong because she fights the world, but because she no longer fears its flow. Like water, she moves and adapts without losing her essence. She's learned that control is fragile, but presence is unshakable. Her calm shows that real strength doesn't come from winning, it comes from understanding. To the ego, that may look like defeat. To the soul, it's freedom. Her freedom came from deep seeing, realizing that every human drama mirrors the inner world. Every insult, rejection, and disappointment became an invitation to know herself better. When others attacked, she asked, what pain in them is speaking? When she felt hurt, she asked, what part of me still needs validation? Through that honesty, she dissolved the illusions that once kept her trapped in emotional suffering. The calm woman has accepted the truth of who she really is. Now she walks through life with quiet confidence that can't be taken away. People feel it. In the way she moves, unhurried, grounded, fully awake. She doesn't chase. She attracts. She doesn't prove. She embodies. She no longer tries to convince anyone of her worth because worth isn't a debate, it's an energy. In love, her calm changes everything. She doesn't mistake intensity for intimacy anymore. She knows love born from fear of loss isn't love. It's attachment. True love, like true calmness, is spacious. It gives both people room to breathe. She can be devoted without dependency, open without losing herself, present without possession. Her love becomes a sanctuary, not a battlefield. Those who meet her often feel disarmed. Her calmness challenges the restless parts in others, the parts that crave reaction. Some will test her boundaries, hoping to spark something that never comes. Others will soften, feeling that her silence doesn't judge, it understands. This is her quiet power. She invites people to meet her where she is, or not at all. She doesn't fear endings anymore. Where she once clung, now she releases. She knows that what's meant for her will align naturally, and what isn't will fade without resentment. Her calm allows her to see the hidden order behind what looks like loss. No one is free until they master themselves, and she has become that master. Calmness has also sharpened her discernment. She can sense manipulation without accusation, dishonesty without anger, imbalance without judgment. Her intuition, strengthened by stillness, reads what words can't hide, yet she chooses peace over exposure. Not every truth needs to be spoken. Silence, too, can be wisdom. There are still moments that shake her: grief, betrayal, injustice. But she no longer resists them. She feels them fully, then lets them move through her. She's learned that peace isn't constant happiness. It's acceptance. It's being able to hold both pain and beauty in the same breath. The calm woman has become like a forest, alive yet grounded, ever-changing yet eternal. When she looks back at who she once was, she feels tenderness, not regret. She honors the one who fought to be seen, who mistook noise for strength. Without that version, there would be no awakening. Every wound was a teacher. Every failure, a sacred push toward inner sovereignty. She now understands that nothing was wasted, not even the suffering, especially the suffering. Because suffering, when faced honestly, clears away illusion and reveals truth. It strips everything false until only what's real remains. The calm woman has walked through that fire and come out whole. She is not the absence of struggle. She is the transformation of it. And now her calm reaches far beyond herself. In her presence, others begin to remember their own peace. Children feel safe. Friends feel heard. Even strangers sense something. A quiet ease, as if the world briefly makes sense again. This is the power of integration. When one person becomes whole, it touches everyone around them. The calm woman, by becoming whole within herself, helps heal the world around her. Her journey is not glamorous, but it is sacred. It's a revolution that begins inside and changes everything outside. In a world addicted to speed, distraction, and noise, her calmness is an act of quiet rebellion. She stands as proof that power doesn't have to be loud, that strength can live inside softness. And that peace, true peace, isn't something you find. It's something you create from within. So when life brings her once again to the edge of uncertainty, she doesn't panic. She breathes. She remembers that storms pass, people change, seasons end, but the calm within stays. Because she no longer identifies with what moves. She identifies with what is still. And in that stillness, she has found freedom. Thank you for spending this time with us. Your journey gives meaning to this space. Stay with us, and together we'll keep exploring, growing, and discovering the truths that make us whole. Until next time, take care and see you soon.